Hello, I'm Mac, at least for a day, and everything's going to be okay. Today we're going to be talking about the new space station core and what it may do in the future. This video is going to be very spoiler heavy because it will contain information that was data mined in the files on PC. So if you don't want anything spoiled about what may happen with the space station core in the future, don't watch this. People on the Atlas CSD forums are the ones that data mined this information, so it wasn't me, and their usernames are on some of the pictures of the information they posted, so to give credit to them. So, first of all, if you've played since the Prisms update, you've seen this thing, the space station core, and you maybe seen this terminal with some interesting lettering on it. We'll get to that in a little bit. But first, when you interact with it, it says life support system stable, commercial monitoring online, flight path management 95% efficiency, and then input override code 1 station override. So currently that item cannot be obtained in the game, a station override. However, it technically is in the game and it's in the game's files. So Devlin Pixie on the Atlas CSD forum, she's one of the leaders. She does a lot of investigation for us. She and a lot of these other people did work in the Waking Titan ARG, so they're all people that are good at investigating and figuring stuff out. But I believe it was she that did it. She didn't say it was actually her, if the screenshot was from someone else. But she's got this screenshot of someone having the space station override item in their inventory, and I will show that to you now. Like I said, you can't actually obtain that in the game, but she or whoever did this screenshot edited their save file in order to put that item into their inventory. However, when you go to the station core and try to use it, nothing happens. So even though it's possible to spawn that item into the game, it doesn't do anything here yet. There's basically no there's some text that happens, but there is no final result. Whatever is supposed to happen is not in the game yet. It's a lot like portals way back before portals were active. We had text in the files for what interacting with portals was supposed to look like, but there was no event that would occur after that. We didn't know what portals did because that data just wasn't in the game's files, and we couldn't make portals function. And it's the same with this. We can get the item for this, but it doesn't actually do anything. But another guy looked up the text lines in the files, so we know at least what it would say, and I will show you the first page of that text now. So on there, you I'll just read it to you. It probably went too fast for you to read all of it. But I'm just going to read the interesting ones. One says input override code. So after you have the item, the station override item, I guess you still need to input a code, and because it's possible to fail. And another line says counterfeit code detected. So if you try putting in the code, even if you have the item, if you have the wrong code, then access will be denied. It says access denied. And then it also says damaged station core, corrupt station core, and then the kz thing that we get a lot when there's static in the text. So apparently the station core can be damaged. I don't know if it becomes damaged when you try overriding it, or if something else is going to damage station cores and we're going to repair it. And I say that because of what's on the next page of text I will show you. So there it says repair core cannot complete repair. So somehow space station cores are going to get damaged sometime in the future. We don't know how. If it's going to be like some evil entity is going to damage space stations and we're going to have to repair them. Maybe it's if they add the space station cores to abandoned space stations. Currently, abandoned space stations don't have the space station core. They just have the old legacy appearance. But maybe they'll add the damaged core to abandoned stations later, and we'll have the ability to repair them. Not sure. Or something else might damage these, or maybe we will damage them if we try to override them and fail. Who knows? But it's very interesting that the space station cores could potentially get damaged, and we might have to repair them. It also says station override, and that's about it. So there's text for saying that the station got overridden, and then it has the text from the item to override it, but there's nothing after that. We don't know what happens when you actually override and take control of the space station. A lot of people are speculating that this could be base building in space stations, or becoming able to take over and own a space station and thus build whatever you want in it or whatever. That's something people have asked for a while. I mean, we have freighters with bases in them, which I really think is basically a space station. You're basically owning a giant space station with a base in it when you own a freighter, but a lot of people have wanted to build at space stations still. So that may be what this is. If you override the space station, you can claim it and then be able to build in it. But I mean, the space that are in space stations isn't much. I mean, I guess if we could build down here where the landing pads were, there'd be a lot of space. But the space up there on the balconies is less space than you have in a freighter base. So it's not like it would be a lot better. But people have a lot of imaginings of things they could do with space stations, like, build a Death Star or something crazy like that. But who knows? Yeah, I can only speculate what could happen when we override the space station. Um, and then also on that page, it had text for changing your freighter, which is already in the game now. So if you buy a new freighter, you can copy your freighter base over from the previous one, which is really good. That kind of fixes the problem of the past base container. There's been a bug for ages. You can build a previous base container thing in freighters, but it never contains anything from a previous base. So you always lose everything when you delete a base or replace your freighter, because the stupid device that I don't even know if it's in the game anymore. I think they may have taken it out. Now I don't know. I think you can still build it in your freighter, but it never does anything. It never works right. So I think that's basically a replacement for that. They may have got rid of it in this update, because the base storage thing that was supposed to save all the materials from your previous base never worked. So I think they replaced it with this new system where your base just gets copied into the next freighter you buy, which is really cool. Okay, so now we'll get to this thing. So this pad has some information on it, which is a little bit interesting. So these letters are an alphabet that we've begun to translate. Sean Murray has tweeted out some of this alphabet, and it seems that we've got most of the alphabet figured out now, because someone was able to translate all of this text on this pad. Here is an image of the translation. You could see there it said station status nominal, system AI mode slumber. It's very interesting that the AI is slumbering, because supposedly this AI core is helping direct ships to make them land in the proper places. I don't know why it's saying that it's slumbering. It seems to be working. It seems to be active, but something about it is still slumbering, and maybe overriding it is how you wake it up. I don't know. Um, and then along here, along this edge where these blue and red lines are, on the blue it says online, and the red says error. Some people have thought that this may be the landing pads, and that seems likely. Let's see. There are 8 landing pads. How many lines are there? 8. Nope, there's more than 8 lines. So maybe they don't correspond to the landing pads. But the idea was that the error landing pad was the one where the player's ship is. So basically, it's saying that there's something wrong with players because players are an anomaly. I mean, one of the races that you can change into is anomaly other than traveler. Travelers are supposed to be an anomalous being that shouldn't really exist in the universe. We don't fit in with the other alien races and such. But there's a lot more lines than there are landing pads, so it's probably not that. Other people have suggested other possibilities, but we don't know why it says online for most of them and then an error. But anyway, there's one more thing I want to show you, and this doesn't pertain to the space station controller. It pertains to the next season of Expedition. So there's data in the files for Expedition 3. We still haven't gotten it yet, but it's definitely coming because they've already got data in there for it. And here's a page that someone data mined for that. So there's not a lot of information here, but it does say UI Season 3 name max length 32. I don't know if that means the next expedition is going to be 32 days or if that was just an example that the person was putting out. That would fit in with what I've been predicting. I've been thinking that the next 2 expeditions are going to be a month long each, one in June and then another one in July, and then we'll have the anniversary update in August. So maybe the next expedition will be about 30 days long or 32 days. There's no name for the season yet, so we have no clue about that. They purposefully left it blank so that we wouldn't know the name of the 3rd season yet. But there is some data in there that tells us we may start with an exotic ship and that it will have more inventory than the ship in season 2. So that's kind of cool. They might start us with an exotic ship. And one thing I was thinking about, this is some speculation, that the reward might be a freighter. The reward for this expedition. It looked like we were going to get a golden freighter from the season 2 expedition, but it ended up changing to the Normandy. So they may end up doing that. They may give us a gold or otherwise special freighter, and the reason I think that is because they created this system where we can copy our freighter base into a new freighter. So I think they've realized that when you change a freighter, you lose all your freighter base, and that kind of sucks, and that makes people not want to change freighters. I was even thinking of that. When I saw what looked like a golden freighter as the reward, I was like, ew, I don't really want a new freighter because that will get rid of my big freighter base that I built. So that, I think, is why they created the system that copies your freighter base, because they're going to give us a new freighter. So when we claim that reward on our main save, it will copy our base over. But anyway, that's all the information I've got for today. Thank you to the people on Atlas CSD for data mining it on PC so that we would know some of the things coming up. And that about does it for today. I have been Mac. Thank you for joining me for a day. And remember, everything's going to be okay. Special thanks to my monthly supporters, Shannon and Jeremy, Shell Owens, JSpot51, Meg Payton. Thank you so much for helping me continue to make daily content.